A wealthy woman invited her housekeeper's son to a chess game, intending to mock him. She had no idea she was facing a prodigy. "Come over here, young man. Why don't you demonstrate your chess skills from the neighborhood?" Victoria Whitman's words rang throughout her luxurious Beverly Hills estate. Dripping with condescension, 17-year-old Diego Santos was assisting his mother Carmen in serving attendees at a charitable event when the wealthy hostess chose to turn him into the night's amusement. The attendees, corporate executives, government officials, and their spouses, snickered quietly behind their sparkling wine. "I doubt he even understands that the night has an L-shaped movement pattern," Hamilton murmured. Carmen kept her gaze down and tightened her fists. 2 decades of maintaining that residence, bringing up her child single-handedly on domestic worker wages, and she remained forced to witness her employer exploit her son for laughs. "Carmen, you may cease your serving duties," Victoria commanded. "I'd like you to observe your son's game. You'll find it instructive." Diego stayed perfectly still, his penetrating dark gaze studying each person present. By 17, he'd discovered that keeping quiet unveils more than speaking does. "Certainly, Mrs. Whitman," he answered with disturbing composure. "I'd be delighted to play." Victoria grinned, taking her seat. "Wonderful. Authentic Italian marble pieces, each valued at more than, well, I'm sure you understand." What Victoria remained unaware of was that this kid from the poor neighborhood had dedicated 8 years mastering every tactical opening and strategic approach the world's greatest players had ever created. While his peers engaged with electronic games, Diego consumed chess literature from the public library and studied historic championship matches on a damaged computer he'd repaired on his own. He'd committed over 200 openings to memory and could recite the 50 most celebrated defensive strategies without hesitation. Victoria positioned the pieces with theatrical flair. "I consistently take the white pieces, young man. Our family maintains that custom." Diego acknowledged this and positioned his black pieces with such exactness that it caused Hamilton to furrow his brow. "Why don't we add some stakes to this?" Victoria declared. "Should the young man manage to create even a single moment of concern for me, I'll contribute $1,000 to an underfunded public educational institution." Mocking laughter filled the space, but Diego raised his head and displayed a smile, one that failed to warm his eyes. Victoria initiated play with e4. "The King's Indian opening, young man. A timeless strategy we studied at Harvard." Diego countered without delay. "C5. The Sicilian defensive formation." An uncomfortable hush descended upon the gathering. This wasn't the action of someone with basic piece-moving knowledge. This represented the choice of someone versed in chess theory. As the game unfolded, something disturbing emerged. Diego wasn't merely reacting. He was controlling the game's rhythm. Each of his pieces landed on precisely the optimal position. Carmen observed from her corner position, pulse quickening. For the first time across 2 decades, she detected anxiety in Victoria's expression. Diego's 11th action established a dual attack. Should Victoria defend her monarch, she'd sacrifice her most powerful piece. Should she safeguard her queen, defeat would arrive within 3 additional moves. This cannot be happening," Victoria whispered. Hamilton grasped the situation. "Victoria, a teenager who's likely never entered an official chess organization is defeating you." Victoria executed a panicked maneuver, but the outcome was already determined. "Your king is threatened," Diego stated plainly. Victoria's hands trembled, not from alarm, but from suppressed fury at being demolished by someone she viewed as beneath her. "You surely encountered that combination previously," she said, her tone pitched higher than usual. Diego displayed a smile. "You're correct, ma'am. I discovered it through Garry Kasparov. I've analyzed every one of his 1,183 recorded matches. He employed this exact sequence in his contest against Karpov during 1984, specifically the 23rd game of their World Championship Series." Carmen moved forward, speaking with conviction. "My child rose before dawn each morning to pursue his studies. He traveled 6 miles on foot to reach the library since we lacked funds for internet access. During my extended work periods, he remained awake working through chess challenges using candle illumination because our power service had been disconnected. The game is concluded. Diego announced quietly. Victoria fixed her gaze on the board. The attendees no longer regarded Diego as a source of amusement. They now saw him as an individual who had challenged all their preconceived notions. Hamilton rose to his feet. Victoria, this young man just performed a strategic variation that even escaped my knowledge. Victoria stood up suddenly. I cannot acknowledge this result. There's something incorrect about this situation. Diego maintained his composure. Would you prefer another game? I'm willing to compete against any person present, or simultaneously against everyone. Carmen met Victoria's gaze directly. Mrs. Whitman, my son isn't displaying arrogance. He's being truthful regarding his capabilities. Something you're evidently incapable of doing concerning your own abilities. What audacity! Victoria exclaimed. Have you lost all sense of your position? Not at all, Carmen responded. I've recognized my own value. Diego stood upright. Mrs. Whitman, my training wasn't intended to embarrass you. I devoted 8 years to study because I aspired to compete against individuals who honored the game. Individuals who comprehended that skill transcends ethnicity, economic status, or surname. You never desired an equitable contest. You sought a spectacle of degradation. Congresswoman Mills inquired, What's your age, young man? I'm 17. I've been dedicated to serious play for 8 years. Mills turned her attention to Victoria. A self-educated adolescent has bested you. An adolescent whose family works in your employ. An adolescent you brought here as an object of ridicule. Diego reset the pieces. I appreciate the match, Ms. Whitman. The experience was indeed instructive. He faced Carmen. Mother, shall we depart? I have classes in the morning. Mills spoke up. Diego, would you be receptive to scholarship opportunities? I'm acquainted with institutions that would value your abilities. Diego smiled with genuine warmth. Absolutely interested, ma'am. As mother and son exited, the guests left individually, extending only frigid goodbyes and critical looks. Victoria remained by herself, staring at the game board where her hubris had been methodically dismantled. Half a year afterward, Diego navigated Stanford's campus with complete financial support. The recording spread across the internet. 3 million people watched it. Victoria became a social outcast. Her exclusive organization revoked her membership. Charitable organizations deleted her name from their records. Diego established a no-cost chess initiative linking disadvantaged young people with experienced guides. 1,200 children joined within half a year. Chess demonstrated to me that every individual possesses distinct strategic worth, he shared with CNN. Victoria demonstrated that certain individuals must forfeit everything before understanding what truly holds significance. When questioned about harboring resentment, Diego smiled. Resentment represents pieces that merely obstruct progress. I'd rather concentrate on what I'm capable of creating. Victoria observed by herself in her vacant estate, at last comprehending what she'd forfeited. Not a chess competition, but the chance to become a superior human being. Diego demonstrated that authentic distinction originates from character developed through hardship. He transformed discrimination into mission. The most effective retaliation isn't annihilating those who belittle you. It's constructing something so remarkable their inadequacy becomes meaningless. Victoria attempted to transform him into spectacle. Diego became motivational example.